Welcome everybody back to the Intel Extreme Masters. We're celebrating 10 years of esports in the Intel Extreme Masters. I was there for the very first StarCraft 2 tournament, casting away with Day9 back in 2010.
Wow. You know, I must have gone to one of the first ones too in Hanover.
Now I think that was the second one, perhaps?
Maybe.
I was there for the first Intel Extreme Masters ever, which I won, by the way. Just saying.
All right, Todd. All right.
Whatever, man.
How many Intel Extreme Masters did you play at over the years? How many of them?
I think I played 2 for Warcraft 3 and 0 for StarCraft 2.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I remember I got 4th place behind all the Koreans that time around when I went to Hanover.
Yeah.
It was fun.
A long time ago, Moonglade, but...
Long time ago, mate.
But you're back here in
I made it
season
back.
10.
Made it back in a different form, you know?
The better form.
Yeah.
The better form.
I like to think so.
It's time for the winners match now, as off stream here, we had MMA go up against Happy, and he was able to take the victory 2-1, which is a wonderful victory for MMA, but an interesting scoreline, as Happy was able to take a map away.
That's actually kind of scary, you know, dropping a game already to Happy, who, I guess you consider a lesser player, now going up against Soo, who's in his prime right now. He's doing so well against all the other Koreans in Korea, now coming overseas to here. Showed his first match against Hero Marine on stream, and he looked like a god. So I don't know, man.
What are you expected results? I mean, obviously expected results, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, losing a map to Happy, I'm not sure how much we can read into that. Like, we didn't see the game. Maybe it was like, a build order deficit or something. But Soo looked pretty darn good against Hero Marine. That first game, the quick mutas, flying in, killing the Hellions. That can you say like the one hotkey thing?
The one hotkeys, man.
That kind of pissed me off, man. He lost map control and everything from the start, and then from there just fell apart.
It's a big mistake right there. And yeah, like Soo just was very on point with his build orders. He knew what he had to do. And I guess in a way, he kind of showed his style. MMA obviously wasn't watching those games. He was playing at the same time, but maybe one of his friends told him like how it went down and what to look out for, which is like a little bit of an advantage going into this kind of match.
Yeah, this is a super cool match, I feel, because both of these players absolutely should be 2 players that are gunning to play at WCS at BlizzCon at the end of the year, but neither of them are anywhere close. I mean, we talked a little bit about that with Soo earlier. He's ranked 30, and MMA's ranked 38. MMA was the finalist of the global finals at BlizzCon last year. He second place.
Yeah.
And he had a great start of the year too, right? He finished top 4 within the GSL, and then it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how that happened. Yeah, he showed that great result at GSL, and from there he just couldn't replicate it. Like we just didn't see him in any of the leagues over there. Again, making it very far. It was kind of a surprise.
You were telling a story earlier about MMA, and
yeah, well,
can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to keep everyone up to date with these stories. Well, MMA, I think a lot of people did know that already, that MMA, when he finished in second place at BlizzCon, and before that was always saying that 2014 was going to be his last year playing StarCraft, and then he announced after the second place, after he'd cooled down after the loss, that, you know what, no, I'm going to stay in StarCraft for another year, I'm going to play at BlizzCon again and hopefully win it in 2015. Not the best of promises to his fans here, coming in at rank 38. He's nowhere near it right now.
No, he's not. His campaign starts here, man. A win on the Intel Extreme Masters Gamescom really, I guess, put him on that road here for BlizzCon, and possibly really helps him qualify for it. So he's going to have to go through guys like Soo or maybe even Innovation, though.
I mean, if you think about his run last year, if I'm not mistaken, towards around this time again is when he was traveling to all the DreamHack to pick up points again, because he was outside the top 16 and found himself in a very similar sticky situation.
But how many tournaments does he actually have left to make it there is the other question. Like, is he going to have to win a GSL or a Star League? I mean, that's a pretty tall feat. Maybe Soo can do it, but Soo's looking a lot more informed to do that sort of thing. MMA, it's always that question mark, like, because he just hasn't done it since early this year.
Well, MMA is definitely very good when he's playing his best, and we've seen that. But let's go to Soo again. I mean, we've already talked a lot about Soo already. Absolutely phenomenal player. He's having a lot of fun here. He feels really good. Oh, my phone is ringing. Wait. Claris. Yeah. Okay. Claris says shut up and hurry up because he's got to cast the game. So we'll, sorry Claris. Talking about Soo, Todd. James
that was a great save.
James is impatient. James is impatient.
Apollo is in fact not casting this series. But that was a great save nonetheless. Well, I mean, Soo, anyway, with how impressive he's looked, do you think he goes into this match there, Moonglade, as the huge favorite that's going to destroy MMA no matter what? Or?
He is certainly a huge favorite, but it's always a dangerous situation, especially against someone like MMA, who's, he's very aggressive. He's great at his multitasking. He can really catch Soo out. So he's got to be on top of his game. He's got to play it safe, not too reckless. I don't think we'll see kind of a repeat of that Muta rush we saw in game 1, because that was like pure recklessness. Like if he suffers a high-end run by, he just loses half his drones.
Well, he looked super clean, super convincing in game number 1, but this is not going to be quite the same here, right? I mean, as little we've seen from MMA, I think that this could be a much closer series, or it should be, right?
It certainly should be.
I mean, even though Soo's still favored. I mean, when you look at the tournament, it's Soo and Innovation, the two favorites, no matter what.
They're the two favorites, and if it gets to that stage, like, they're going to be amazing games as well. But MMA, I looked at this group earlier, and I'm like, there is danger there for Soo. He's not like just going to fly through. MMA can cause a lot of problems.
All right, final thoughts then, because the game is almost ready. I don't know if you guys can hear the clicking in the background, but that's actually Soo saying, go, 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 go,
Infinity
go, go, go.
APM, yeah. I'm certainly favoring Soo for this one, 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Todd, likewise, or?
I'm feeling Soo, but I always predict the other way that the other guy predicts, so I'm going to go for MMA, I guess. I believe in a comeback. It's going to be a 2-1.
You just miscalled it, Earl.
All right, well, I'm not going to put my 2 cents in. Everyone knows who I would pick anyway.
Who?
MMA, of course.
Oh, of course.
Of course, but I mean, it doesn't matter, does it?
You're still riding the Terran hype train?
No, I'm riding the MMA hype train and always have been. Moving forward, let's go to the commentary team for this one. Unfortunately, Caloris got so angry that he decided not to cast this one, so it's going to be the other 2 casters we have on standby. Take it away.
Thank you very much, I won't say James now as well, damn it! Thank you very much, Sean. I will do my best to replace James in all its glory. I'm ready for this series. It's been a very long time that I had the pleasure to cast Soo. I think the last time I actually casted a game of Soo was 2013, WCS Season 3, back then in Canada.
Wow, that's a long time, man. A long time to go without one of the greatest Zerg players of all time.
That's true.
The King of Kongs, who recently kind of threw that title on the ground, got rid of it, took his first championship.
One man can only handle so many second places before he's completely sick with it. I like what he said in his interview, by the way. He's like, well, nobody wants to be a runner-up. I would die to be a runner-up of the GSL. Do you know how happy and proud I would be? Like, you can just ride it out for the rest of your life. You can become a commentator tomorrow, and for the next 7 years, you can be like, well, I got the runner-up at GSL, and I got pretty close to winning it. It's like,
hey, man.
But this guy just shows, man. He's here for business, and he absolutely wants to go all the way. The first map is going to be played on Iron Fortress for our first best of 3 of the day. The second one on stream, of course. And we're looking at the main base of the man, the myth, the legend. Wants to go back to BlizzCon. It's MMA. I always like, the attitude that MMA brings to a tournament. In between games, he's very friendly, very funny, likes to laugh a lot, always greets you, not just with a formal handshake in the way of like, I guess it's polite to say hi or something, but whenever I say hi to MMA and he says hi back, I always feel like it's a very genuine hi. He's like, oh, hey. And
he's always got that ready smile on his face,
he's got that cheeky smile, that's what I like. I really like the attitude.
Of course, looking pretty serious though, because he has got to face up against this red Zerg in the top right-hand side. It is SKT's Soo.
Rocking that Caspa pin. Happy with his victory. Well deserved, of course. It would be awesome for Soo to get back-to-back victories. Also would be the first time ever Soo would win a tournament outside of Korea. Ba-bam.
And that would be such a cool boost to his confidence there, as well as those WCS points and everything else we were talking about. Iron Fortress, I think it's actually a really good map for how Soo's been playing. He's been doing that 2-base Muta rush, he's been getting in the Terran's face, and that's going to play well on this map, where the third base is spread so far apart. There's quite a bit of room for Mutas to get in there, and it's going to put the pressure on MMA, allowing Soo to kind of take his own third base without worrying about too much. So that's what I'd anticipate coming out from him.
Yeah, it's just such a large, wide open map with so many wide open areas. It's actually kind of hard to fight in a choke point on this map. You really have to look for it, like you have to find, but where do you in general have a choke point over here? Unless you put pressure on a potential third base on one of these high grounds, and maybe you can fight near a ramp, but 99% of the time you're going to fight in a wide open area, and that's going to be, needless to say, pretty damn good for Zerg, especially when your name is Soo, and for some reason you always have a few more Zerglings and a few more Banelings than every other Zerg out there.
The Zerg symbol in the middle of the map there. I actually never really paid attention to that. But that is a little bit telling. The designer there is just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I never thought about
it. It's
like,
very funny because I've made this joke way too many times that, you know, this is a rough map for Protoss or Terran for, you know, all the reasons we just mentioned. And I always say, you know, there's not for nothing there is a massive Zerg logo in the middle of the map. Like, obviously, the guy who made this map is a Zerg player. And I actually thought about saying it again, but I was like, nah, everyone has heard me say this little story already 2 times. I'm not going to go there today. And then Pick is like, hey, you know, there is a Zerg symbol in the middle of the map. That's kind of telling. It's like, oh, God.
Hey, it's cross-map as well. And that's actually probably the most important thing here for Soo. I mean, he's got to be thinking, this is fantastic. There's no Terran in these side spawns. That's such a long way across the map. I feel like if you're pushing from, you know, side to side or
horizontal
top to bottom.
Horizontal is probably best for Terran, I would say.
You can kind of work around those ledges, abuse those bits of high ground. MMA coming in.
Oh! That would have been so sick. If you would have got a 3 Zerglings surround on the Reaper, I'd be reinstalling Warcraft 3 right now and try to do that with my archers.
The old archers surround.
Yeah, man, it was cheeky, but it got the job done. And then you just cloaked them in 1 by 1, so that was cool.
Shadow Meld. If only we could have those sort of abilities, but instead we get Dark Templar in StarCraft 2. We get some cool abilities of our own. Of course, keeping that Reaper alive is so important. If you don't do that, the Zerg just has complete freedom. Instead, the Reaper's going to come in. It really wants to try and scout what's going on. Is there any risk of any sort of roach follow-up? Is there a fast lair on the way? But those Zerglings and that Queen positioning denying that Reaper really well so far.
Yeah, it's one of these small things, but just not even giving MMA the peaceful state of mind of knowing how much gas has been mined. Is everything normal? You know, like, everything is normal, and we see that, but it's not something that MMA can know right now. So in the back of MMA's mind, he's perhaps still a tiny bit worried. You know, what if this guy was suddenly saving up a bunch of links and runs them all across the map? Probably need to get a wall off, or I need to lift up my command center. How many SCVs can I put on the low ground? These are all things that are not expected, but still you want to eliminate the option as quick as possible as a Terran player. And as long as you have to worry about it, it's still something that, you know, is part of this game.
Of course, the winner of this match will be going right through to the top 8 of the tournament. So if you could take this game out as Soo, I mean, that just takes so much pressure off. You get another day to actually watch your opponents play, study them, prepare. And getting out of here would be a really big boon to that. Interestingly, though, from MMA, looks like he wants to do a bit of aggression, a cheeky armory going down in the back of his base.
Yeah, in the first game of the day, it definitely looked all business for Soo. He's not here to waste any time. He's not here to play long games. It was just macro, make a bunch of units, run across the map, and pretty much kill Hero Marine. That's how it went. It should be a little bit more difficult against MMA, as MMA has a lot to play for. And James, our translator, Mal, also mentioned that MMA feels very confident for this weekend. So he's probably been practicing a lot. Also knows that if he wants to have another shot at BlizzCon, this is truly where it has to start. Because MMA being at like rank 38, I believe is what Apollo said.
Yep.
That's just way too low, man. MMA on any given day should be ranked higher than that. You're not gonna... Oh, no, don't do that. I refuse to believe there are 37 people in this world that are better at StarCraft than MMA.
You know, he's been a bit up and down this year. He did get a top 4 in GSL Season 1 this year, which is an amazing
That was such a good
finish.
run. That was such a good run. Because so many people said, like, well, MMA, you know, he's been playing WCS Europe. Can he still do it in Korea? Well, he showed in Season 1 that, yes, he can. But since then, it's been a little quiet. Wants to put a lot of pressure here. But I love this setup for Soo.
That's just too many
crawler
queens.
And 5 queens? Are you kidding me?
So many transfuses in there. MMA, smart move. Withdraws here. He knows he can't overcommit to this. He can't fight into the spine. Pulling back, he's just got to delay the third base, apply pressure, force more Zerglings out. This is good reaction from MMA, not just throwing these units into that meat grinder of Zerg.
Yeah, there were 2 more Hellions cruising in the middle of the map and that Viking making its way over. But MMA realized that 5 queens with energy, a spine, and a bunch of Zerglings, it's just too much. Can't do it.
Oh my gosh, we're seeing 2 more factories go down for MMA. This is so cool. Oh,
you can walk in, mate.
Zergling counterattack and walk right in.
Oh, God, this is devastating already.
Slow for the reaction there from MMA. Mutas are on the way as well, so this is just so hard. He needs to start building Thors, he needs to start building missile turrets, but instead he's worrying about these Zerglings in his base and they're doing critical damage.
Yeah, he should worry about these Zerglings in his base because he has already lost 7 SCVs. A Terran losing 7 SCVs while opening up with Hellbat. He was the one that was supposed to kill 7 drones on the other side of the map. This is actually a devastating opening for MMA. It's really not good.
Even losing Marines out there in the middle of the map, that is so bad. He needs every bit of anti-air he can use. Oh, this is a really nice, smart move. Sending the Hellions in, this is going to buy some time if he can pull those Mutalisks home.
He truly needs to kill 10 workers over here, though, and I'm not sure if you're ever going to get 10 drones against Soo. He already got 3. Line them. Oh, he shot a hatchery.
There's no Zerglings here yet, though, so he is getting up a lot of drone kills. Only a 7 so far. Needs to get a couple more to equalize this. The Mutas are already on his side of the map. His turrets aren't finished, and Soo is so decisive. He's going in with those Mutalisks for the kill.
Oh, the medevac. Okay, we'll get out of there, but I actually think that this game could just end over here. There's barely any anti-air, and there we go. MMA will just tap out. GG is called after he just did no damage with his initial Hellbat opening. And when you have 7-8 Mutalisk hovering above your SCV line and you have no anti-air, that's in general where games end.
No, that's such a hard position there. I mean, Soo was so safe, right? He just kept building queens. He had the spine ready. That sort of pressure fizzled, and then letting those Zerglings in was really bad. But what I'm really thinking about here, what is so bad for MMA from that game is he showed his hand. He showed he wanted to go mech. Didn't even get a chance to get to it. Now Soo knows for sure, you want to be going mech against me in these games. This is a strong option. He's going to be really mentally prepared for that, and it completely takes away the surprise factor.
Yeah, if you want to go mech cross-map Iron Fortress, you probably want to go mech at least one more time in this series. If that's actually going to happen, we'll find out after this small commercial break. Alrighty, we're almost good to go with game number 2 between MMA and Soo. The winner will advance to the playoffs already of the Intel Extreme Masters at Gamescom. Those will still be happening over here at the studio, the ESL studios, which are very near where the actual Gamescom is happening. But of course, we're making our way over for the semifinals and the finals on Sunday.
Championship Sunday, going to be out there in front of a huge crowd of
Championship Sunday is so American.
Such an MLG term.
Yeah, we can't be rocking that over here.
All right, this is the Intel Extreme Masters. We are our own much better brand.
So MMA is looking perhaps a little bit sad after that game. Number 1, things definitely didn't go the way they had in mind. It wasn't just those Mutalisks, it wasn't just the failed Hellbat push, but above all, it was that Zergling run by that was completely unnecessary. And when you're opening up with a build that's supposed to do economic damage, but instead you're the one that's ending up losing 7, 8, 9 SFVs, and they're not mining. Yeah, that's devastating. Then just everything falls apart immediately. Let's see if things will go a little better for him on Cactus Valley, as we're looking at the main base of the man who has won so many tournaments in his life. It is MMA. I've always liked the name MMA. I don't know why. I just think it's a cool playing nickname to have. It sounds powerful.
It's really simple, and you know, it kind of brings up those fighting thoughts. He's such a handsome, kind of fit guy as well.
Yep. Oh god.
Oh, all right. He does have to face off, though, up against his opponent up here in the top right of Cactus Valley. It is SKT's Soo.
What is he doing? Is he 11-11?
This is an 11-11 proxy
in
Rax.
The middle of the map.
And
oh my
Soo
god.
is sending a drone.
That's
right
gross.
there.
This is just gross. Soo's like, can we see Soo's face right now? That would just be amazing.
Oh, this is just so good.
He's like, lol.
This is just like, all right, buddy. What do you do here as MMA? We can already see he's actually going to go
again.
gas at home. So he's going to do this as a Reaper to try and turn into a sort of standard opening
he's
from
sending
there.
Another drone. Will this barracks finish up? I actually don't think it's going to finish up unless he's going to send down another SCV. But this one SCV is not going to win the fight. These two drones are going to work on the SCV. This might be a very early exit again.
Float, SCV, float. Yes,
that's very smart.
He's in that unattackable position there. It looks like he's going to finish that barracks. Really good control from the SCVs from MMA, and this is going to allow him to transition into a somewhat good standard position.
Yeah, good placement from that barracks, because if that SCV wouldn't have had a sweet spot over there, it would not have finished that barracks.
This is such a good position for Soo. He's gone for the pool first. He's going to be so ready for this. Pool hatch, just going to have that queen. This is really just kind of so smart from Soo. He says, you know what, I feel so confident after that game 1. And this build has gotten a little bit of popularity in Korean tournaments in the last couple of weeks. So really smart of him to check for that. In the old days, you'd always say it's a 4-player map. No need to check for that, but he is going to be looking out for that.
Sorry guys, my Korean is a little rusty, but if I have to make an estimated guess, or well-educated guess, I think MMA just said, you cheeky guy, you. So it's just like, zzz.
So he's like, I am not cheeky. I am Zerg.
I'm sure that that James will tell us later on what MMA wrote over there. There are some people on the internet who did know what he wrote. Unfortunately, neither Pig or me speaks a whole lot of Korean.
Not at all. The Reaper's coming in, still going to poke around. I mean, this is still a relatively normally timed Reaper. It still kind of keeps the opponent back a little bit, but the real problem is now that Barracks can't be building a reactor anytime soon. It takes so long to float home, so any sort of reacted Hellion follow-up is going to be so delayed here for MMA.
You know, if Soo would have gone for, let's say, quick speed links, wouldn't that have been like borderline impossible for MMA to secure his low ground anytime soon? Oh my god, MMA! Just not microing his Reaper there, microing the wrong Reaper perhaps, because he was more focused on the Reaper that was on the south side of that battle, but the one on the north just died, and that's inexcusable. For a player like MMA, you're not supposed to lose a Reaper like that on the low ground against the Queen.
Such a big slip up there. I think you're spot on, Roddy. I think a gas investment would have been really great for denying that expansion. And exactly because of what we said, you know, there's no Hellions coming out anytime soon. What are you going to do to secure that natural? But Soo's taking the more kind of standard economic approach. He's just going to say, guess what? Like, you're going to have an awkward follow-up. I can just play super standard and I'll be in a sick position.
This Reaper is actually going to die as well. I don't think it's ever going to get out with a Queen chasing it, with the Lynx over here. And then there are 2 more Queens on the low ground. I think this Reaper is going to die as well. He could pull the drones. Get a cheeky hit with the drone.
The spawning pool arrest.
Boom, boom, boom.
It's blocked it. Oh, doesn't actually pull one, but this Reaper's getting very low. Only starting to heal right now. Does go for the loop. MMA!
Wow, he's going to get out.
Oh, man.
Okay, that was a small mistake by Soo, because he could have used any of the drones that this Reaper went through and give it one hit, one little poke, one little boxing punch as the drones do, and it would have died immediately.
Well, you know, you've got to prioritize where you're looking at. Maybe he was doing an inject down at the natural, a little bit of a slip up for sure, but going to see that fast lair coming out for Soo, just going into 2 base Muta.
I think he was just very sure all along that it was going to die. He's like, there's no way it's going to get out, right? And MMA actually with some perfect movement, but it's still a small mistake on the side of Soo. He should have been able to kill that Reaper easily.
Spot on. We are seeing a Viking coming out as well as a fast third command center for MMA. So this is a very kind of deny some vision with the Viking, very balanced opening, but very economic. Meanwhile, though, because the pressure on Soo has been so light this game, he's doing something a little bit special. He's going for both a very fast lair, almost a 2-base Muta timing lair, but he's also taking the fast third base with only a slight delay. So he's going for that mixture of tech and economy at the same time. Normally something which you can't afford to do both things at once safely, but Soo realizes he can take a few freedoms this game, take a few things away, and really nice pick up on that Reaper. There's just so little pressure. You've got to think, for MMA, how do you apply pressure in the next couple of minutes here, Roddy?
It's going to be very difficult, because those Reapers, they help out so much in those little Hellion pokes, because the Reapers, they can actually absorb the first shots of the Queen, then you send them back, they will regenerate, or if Lynx get a surround on, the Reaper will always be there to soak up a couple of hits from those Lynx and then regenerate again. Now every single bit of damage that MMA will take on these Hellions is going to be real damage immediately. There will be nothing there to repair them. He's going to elevate a couple of Hellions. This is kind of cool. I always like this. This reminds me of that one build that Zez used to use for a while with, you know, Phoenixes killing the Overlords and then flying in a War Prism. It's very cool. And this could potentially do a little bit of damage, but there are Zerglings on the production tab and they will probably pop in just the right amount of time.
Zergling actually just got into the main base of MMA and spotted the armory just as it's finishing up. So this is really good. Soo knows what's coming his way now. He's going to be in position to stop this Hellion drop, pulling those drones so quickly, only losing a single drone. Really nice defense right now, and Soo knows what's coming. Guess what? His Spire is almost done. If MMA commits to this Hellbat timing, there's going to be Mutas on top of it. He's going to lose every single unit.
Yeah, he has 8 Hellions right now. That rally point is being messed up indeed from that orbital command. That's 4 or 5 SUVs that are just idling over there. The Queen should be able to take care of this Viking, but there is once again going to be a Hellion drop. This actually could be a drone massacre, as the Hellions in the main base should have free reign. These are all Hellbats. Queens are a little bit out of position. Let's see how much damage will MMA be able to do. Let's take a look at the main base. Oh man, I actually think he should have kept them in regular Hellions.
Oh, he definitely should have. Isn't able to capitalize on those drones as they run away. They don't have any defense, but all Soo needs to do is buy time, and now those Queens are back in position. They are going to be able to deflect this. The deflection at the third with 0 damage, losing a little bit of mining time in the main, but for the huge investment here from MMA, this is not enough damage. These Mutalisks are putting a timer on this. They're going to shut down this drop. This is so brutal. MMA is getting walked all over here.
How on earth did only a single drone? Oh my god, only a single drone. That's ridiculous. There were 8, 9 Hellions over there, and he has lost a single drone. But I do think that MMA made a small mistake there by morphing those Hellions into Hellbats immediately while there was nothing in the main base. If he would have just cruised in with those 4 faster Hellions, yeah, of course, it takes a little longer and they're a little bit more vulnerable, but he would have been able to do a lot more. One more Hellion gets picked off, at least that second Hellion gets 2 drones. We haul, but that's about it. I believe just 1 more drone. 2 drones have died for 10, 11 Hellions? 10, 12.
Oh, not the best trades here for MMA. MMA, though, he's got Thors on the way.
Small
he's got
understatement,
Vikings, he's got missile turrets, he's got Widow Mine, so at least he's not just going to die here. He can force this game to go longer, and he's using the most cost-efficient composition in the game, so maybe he can pull this back here. We do see, interestingly enough, Soo's sticking with the melee upgrades. So even though he's going for a Roach Warren, there's a very good chance that his eyes are set on that sort of hive-tech, ultralisk stage of the game. And once again, we see Soo taking liberties. Rather than kind of playing very safe, he realizes he's ahead, and rather than investing in the Hydras, the Vipers, straight away, as well as the upgrades, he can just go straight up towards the Ultralisks with a minimal Roach ground force, and look at this, MMA's only now securing his third base.
This is just so nice for Soo because he's been so rich. He can play this out in so many ways, you know, and pretty much every single way as he wants to. He gets a tank over there. I think if he starts shoving with Roaches, I actually think he will be rich enough to completely overrun MMA, but going up to Ultralisk or maybe eventually Broodlords, that's fine too. Actually fires up 11 Hydralisk. That one a little bit surprised.
Interestingly, I've actually seen a few players doing this recently where they say, you know what, yeah, I'm teching towards that higher tech, but I'm still going to invest in a big Roach Hydra Viper timing, or sometimes even pre-Viper, just like a max of Roach Hydra, because if they feel like there's an opening, it's a map like Cactus where there's a lot of wide open areas, they feel they can just take a trade, afford to be a bit inefficient, because look at this fourth base of Soo, already starting to saturate it. He's going to be able to throw units away, be a little bit free with his money.
Somewhere in Korea right now, Artosis woke up and he's like, I feel it. Someone is meching on the other side of the world.
He can smell the mech happening.
Artosis is just having nerd chills. He has no idea why. His wife is getting all worried. It's like, are you sick, honey? He's like, no. Someone is meching it up. And I need to watch this game. So, hello, Dan. I know you're watching. But I'm still worried, though. I'm very worried for MMA and his little mech build. There we do see indeed 12 Roaches on the production depth. That's kind of what I expected. And I really think that if Soo goes all out on an attack like this, and I don't mean all in, but just like actually commits to it, then I think he's going to be able to have a very solid chance of overrunning MMA. Even though MMA supply looks pretty healthy right now. 155 supply of mech. That is nothing to make fun of. That's something you always have to respect.
Yeah, it's going to really be a bit of time that MMA needs more than anything else, though. He's got only 5 Siege Tanks and 2 Thors right now. His upgrades on the mech also aren't amazing. We're only looking at the second armory has just been added, so we're only on +1 for these mech units. Meanwhile, actually swapping into those range upgrades for Soo. So it looks like Soo isn't really rushing straight to those Ultralisks, maybe saying, I'll stay on Roach Hydra Viper for a while. I'll try and trade with this. We can go to that stage of the game a little bit later on.
I'm always worried when I see super late game Soo, because I will never forget that game he played on King Sejong Station where he had like 60 Corruptors. And then that was a painful game to watch. I actually walked away because I was like, you know what, I'm kind of hungry. This game is super over. And I come back and people are like, yeah, Soo true. I was like, no, that's actually a lie. Like, they're talking about a different game. And then I had to rewatch the VOD because I was like, there's no way that Soo has ever lost this game. The entire map was covered in creep and he had 60 Corruptors, but somehow, someway. Who was that there? Was it
I think that might
Yoda?
have been, was it Reality perhaps? Definitely someone meching, but nonetheless, looking at this game right here, we do see a big mech push coming out for MMA, looking like he wants to get in there.
Creep, it's very risky though. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pull it off on creep. Like, if they fight off creep, if Soo would attack into MMA, then I can see MMA taking a pretty cost-efficient fight, but on creep, it's going to be very risky.
Very difficult. Look, at the most important thing here is these Vikings. They are the linchpin of MMA's army. And likewise, for Zerg, for Soo, it's the Vipers. It's all about, can those Vikings stop the Vipers? And those Vikings are all just getting wrecked by the Hydralisks here. The Roach Hydra is coming in. Some tanks only just sieging now in the back, but actually a decent angle for MMA with all the Hellbats and Thors up front. A lot of this Roach Hydra is going down.
But now there are a couple of Lightning Clouds going down on top of these tanks. These stores will get picked up immediately. I think that was a pretty damn bad fight for MMA, especially because all of his tanks were on siege, so he just had to siege them up. Then they finally got a couple hits off, but then the Viper showed up for this party, and look at the supply. 200 supply against 112. That was an absolute massacre.
Not the fight MMA was looking for at all. He needed to be so cost efficient, so careful, and really careless with his Vikings there. I feel like the first half of the fight went okay, but now having that core of his army,
I think you pointed it out very well though, Pig. All those Vikings were dying for pretty much no reason, and he was still kind of on creep, and then he unsieged all of his tanks. It looked a little promising when like the tanks that he finally sieged up, when they got 2 or 3 volleys off, but as soon as those blinding clouds started raining down, there was just no DPS in the army of MMA anymore, and those stores, they were just sitting ducks, man.
Oh, this Roach Hydra just rolling in here, getting on top of these siege tanks. The SCVs being pulled. A moment of desperation for MMA, somehow keeping these 4 siege tanks alive for a moment longer, killing a lot of Roach Hydra. But every unit he loses is unreplaceable, whilst Soo's bank is just never ending. Oh, behind this, he's adding Queens and Ultralisks, and MMA realizes it's over. He does have to tap out. GG.
What a lovely Thursday morning so far for Soo. I think he had roughly 42 minutes of actual gameplay, and now he's done. Yes, Soo, you can put down those earplugs. You will advance to the quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters, where, of course, we have no idea yet who you're going to face, as he's the first player to secure his ticket into the round of 8. No surprise, as everyone expected Soo to at least make it to, quarterfinals, semifinals. Most people say finals, or he's going to win this entire tournament. But what I am still a tiny bit surprised by, and I know I shouldn't, but I'm still a little bit, is by how easy he makes it all look. It's just like he's playing a different game than us, mate.
It's actually insane, because a lot of people sometimes say in StarCraft 2 there's not that much mechanical variance between players at different levels, especially once you're looking at 2 Korean top-level pro gamers who've made it to the finals of tournaments, they've won championships. But when you look at Soo, there's just this this next-level speed to what he does, and there's certain situations where he really shines and is able to just show that he's always got the perfect number of units, he's always got a lot of drones, he's just always in a very powerful position.
Is it safe to say that MMA did miss a couple of opportunities, and of course made a couple of unforced errors as well? Supply depots not being raised, and those Hellions like morphing into Hellbats, while he could have actually finally done some damage. But I guess in the end it was just not his series. No worries though for all the MMA fans out there, and MMA himself, as he will have another shot at making it to the quarterfinals later today, where he will face the winner of Hero Marine vs Happy. That's going to be the next series, but for now let's throw it over to the desk where Sean is standing with Soo.
Cheers, Rotty. Here with Soo, Moonglade, and of course James. Nice and easy game there. Again, not what can you really say? Does he think that was just a walk in the park?
일단 짧게 2대 0으로 게임이 끝나긴 했는데 시리즈에 대해서 설명 좀 짧게 간단하게 해주시죠.
경기 내용에 대한 설명. 일단 상대 성원이 형이 일단 제가 예상한 대로 해줘가지고 제가 계속 유리하게 가가지고 이긴 것 같고 그냥 딱히 별 문제 없었던 것 같아요.
MMA played out exactly as I predicted him to play, so no problemo.
Were you expecting mech play on the last map there, or was that kind of uncharacteristic for MMA?
메카닉 문성원 선수 하면은 주로 이제 해병 그리고 의료선 많이 위주로 플레이를 하는데 메카닉 플레이를 봤을 때 뭐 당황하거나 그러진 않았나요?
요새 테란 분들이 빌드를 여러 가지 뭐 메카닉도 하고 바이오닉도 하고 해가지고 딱히 당황하진 않았어요.
In my practices, all the Terran players lately seems to be stepping up a notch, throwing in a lot of stuff, mechs, bios. I wasn't really surprised or anything because I've experienced it before.
What does he think is the more difficult playstyle to play against? Is it the mech or is it the bio?
뭐 어윤수 선수가 생각하기엔 개인적으로 바이오 상대라는 게 좀 더 편한지 아니면 메카닉 상대하는 게 편한지.
누가 하는 게 중요한 것 같아요. 누가 어떤 사람이 바이오닉을 하냐 이게 더 중요한 것 같고 뭐가 더 좋은지는 하기 나름인 것 같아요.
I think it really depends on players, and to add a little more, it really depends on who plays bio and who plays mech.
Are you afraid of who are the Terrans you're afraid of? Are you mostly afraid of innovation or fantasy as well?
전반적으로 테란 선수들을 봤을 때 정명호 선수라든지 이시영 선수라든지 이번에 있는 테란 선수 중에서 누가 가장 좀 신경에 쓰이는 선수가 딱히 있나요?
이번 IEM에 너무 테란이 많아서 아니 그건 아니고 사실 요새 테란전이 잘 안 돼서 명훈이 형, 신영이 둘 다 어려울 것 같아요.
지금 이게 안 되는 거예요?
네?
이게 안 되는 거예요?
네, 안 되는 거예요.
There's a lot of Terrans in IEM, especially in this one. My TvZ is not too solid, so I asked him, was that not solid? He's like, yeah, it's.
So if he was to predict himself, as every player should be, saying that he gets to the finals, which other player out of the players that are still in the tournament that he could probably see playing against in the final?
자, 일단 어윤수 선수가 그럼 다시 한번 또 결승을 간다는 전제하에 누가 올라올 수 있을 거라 생각하나요?
일단 예상은 신영이가 가장 높은 확률로 예상되는데 좀 누가 좀 떨어뜨렸으면 좋겠어요.
I expect Innovation to be the finalist if I were to make it up there, but I'm hoping, have my fingers crossed that someone would knock him out before he gets to that point.
Why is that?
한번 경험이 있어서 그렇죠?
원래 한번 져보면 좀 이게 또 만나면 또 공포심이 좀 생기거든요. 그래서 피하고 싶어요.
I think that was a very rhetorical question, but obviously when you meet someone at a final and you lose once, you start to develop some butterflies in your stomach, and it's really not something you want to go through again.
Okay, well that's one way to answer. I thought he was going to say that everyone else is bad. That's what I was hoping for. But you got another question? I got one last one for myself.
Go for it.
All right, so let's just say now, and imagine the Innovation when he plays later on. He goes through the group, and both of them have tomorrow off. What are they going to do? Are they going to come here and play practice? Are they going to go visit the city, go for a dinner or something?
자, 오늘 이따가 이제 A조 마무리 이제 최종전이랑 다 끝나고 나면은 B조의 이시영 선수가 기다리고 있는데 오늘 경기 끝나고 나면 내일 두 분 다 경기가 없거든요. 내일 혹시 와서 연습을 하실 생각인지 아니면 오늘 신영이를 데리고 가서 술을 먹이든지 해서 떡을 만들어 놓는다든지 계획이 어떻게 되시나요? 아까 보니까 키는 보니까 괜찮던데.
저도 이제 신영이를 나쁜 길로 빠뜨리고 싶지만 걔가 워낙 성실한 놈이라서 이제 제가 컨트롤이 잘 안 되더라고요. 이제 자기 관리를 너무 중요시하는 놈이라서 그냥 알아서 떨어졌으면 좋겠어요.
I think he got his idea innovation from the word innocent. Perhaps he's a very hard-working guy. I kind of hope that he loses easily to the temptations, but he's not the type, so I'm not quite too sure.
Do you think Innovation's going to stay here and practice, and he'll probably have
I just hope he gets knocked out later than tonight.
So then he will go out. All right, thank you very much, James. Congratulations, Soo. Our first player to make it through to the playoffs. And of course, Soo will be back on Saturday when we begin the quarterfinals. But now it's going to be time to go to the lower bracket games. The two Europeans go head-to-head. If you've missed any action and are just tuning in for the first time, make sure to go to plays.tv and we'll see all, and you'll find there all of the StarCraft 2 games that have played not just only at this tournament, but in previous ones as well. We'll be right back with the lower bracket game.